Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Xtremetarot, where we do moon readings and zodiac readings. Today we're doing a zodiac reading for the sign of Libra. We're checking into what your spirit guides would most want to say to you. We have the free spirit card. What the heck was that? We have on whom am I placing blame right now? And mural, be your own first priority. Okay, so I feel like there's maybe a stifling presence in your life, whereas you're not really able to like express yourself. Maybe there's something like artistic that you want to do. The stifling presence could be yourself. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not saying it's somebody else, but I feel like I just saw this sticking out. Am I on the right path? Am I focused on what I want most? Are you really following your soul? I feel like your spirit guides really want to check in with you and be like, are you following your soul, everything that you want to do? And if not, are you placing blame maybe on somebody else for the reason why you're not? On here, this girl is drawing, be your own first priority, it says. So are you putting someone else's needs above yours and then resenting them? I feel like these are the questions that your spirit guides want you to ask yourself. This is very much, I feel like your spirit guides wanting you to find out for yourself. Like, just do a little check-in. What's going on here? The third house, which is the house of communication. I feel like, again, that's about like communicating with yourself, because I see the one here. So I feel like spirit really wants you to like think and have a talk with yourself about kind of what's going on in your life right now. Let's look in the book at this free spirit and just see. Oh, I just like opened right to the page. Funny. We can create cages around our mind to keep us from taking risks that might expose us to rejection, embarrassment, or failure. We can forget that if we do experience those things, they are temporary and they help us conquer our fears. We actually become happier through that process. We are able to fully enjoy we are able to enjoy the full and exciting version of life meant for us. We embrace more opportunities. Magical things can happen. We discover that life can be all that we dreamed of and more. The free spirit within you needs permission to express herself, to go after what she wants, to try new things, to make art. That's so weird that it said to make art, because she's like drawing on the wall there. To express love, to use her voice without having to be perfect. Yeah, I was getting a perfectionist vibe, without having to be certain of how it's all going to turn out. Give yourself permission to make mistakes and figure out what you are doing as you go. Sometimes it's when things don't work out the way we thought or hoped that we can learn the most. It's not a punishment. It's not a sign that you were stupid or should have done something different. It's just life doing what life does, giving us a chance to grow by learning from what happens. Control and doubt will hold your spirit in chains, when really, if you let her fly free, she'll show you an amazing world and an amazing you. And 3 is also a number of expansion. And I feel like you've been very restricted with yourself. I feel like you've kept yourself, like this was saying, in a cage. And I feel like you don't really have that sort of a spirit. You have a more free spirit. I'm getting almost like a conformist sort of a vibe here, where you're conforming to someone else's expectations, or even just society's, or your own, something like that. So let's see. What does... I just woke up. Sorry if I sound like weird. But anyway, okay. I need to put my glasses on. I can't see. All right. What does Libra spirit guides want to say to them? Also, I don't know if I said there might have been an argument, because we have this on the bottom of the deck, bitch fire, stand up for yourself. But that could just be like, stand up for who you know that you are and for the things you want to do. This says, what can I burn? So it's like with the bitch fire and burn, it's like, I don't know, it's almost like a transformative fire. Like there's something like that. All right, what does Libra spirit guides most want them? What message do they have for them right now? Confidence is your key to success. New moon in Leo. And this is more like 3rd house energy. The answers you need are coming with a full moon in Gemini. But I feel like there's like, I was getting a similar message. I think was it my Sagittarius energy, my Sagittarius reading, where it's like spirit just like wants you to play and kind of like get back to like the fun side of like maybe being creative. If you're somebody that feels like you're like a creative person, we had 2 things talking about painting and expressing yourself in a creative way. If you've like let that dry up, like your soul could really be missing it, and your spirit guides are like, don't forget. But confidence is your key to success, new moon in Leo. Leos are all about being on stage and being in the spotlight, and again, like creativity, like the house, like the 5th house that rules, that Leo is in, whatever, I don't know how to say that correctly, but it's about romance, creativity, going for the gusto in life. I'm getting more of a vibe here of like a Virgo energy of like, even we have the 3rd house, which is also ruled by Mercury, but Mercury rules Virgo as well. But it's like that routine. I have to be perfect. I have to have everything perfectly in order. And like, there's nothing wrong with that and being responsible. But I think Spirit's like, let's bring a little fun into it too. Let's bring a little whimsy. Like, I think you need a little whimsy. We're getting like a free spirit. I feel like you've got your responsibilities under control. And now like Spirit wants to like bring the fun in, is like a vibe that I'm getting. But let's see. It's like you've mastered whatever you're doing right now. So let's bring in some more fun. What message does Spirit have for Libra? Oh my gosh. All right, we got all the glitters. Hold on. And look, we have this Y energy, and I feel like Spirit is wanting you to question certain things. I think Spirit just wants you to sit with yourself, and I feel like you might have a fear of like looking stupid in front of other people. You might have like a really perfectionist, I'm almost getting like a little doll or something, like, or like a little doll that has to be perfect. And I think Spirit's like, that's no. Let's look in the book at this, all the glitters, and just see what it says. Number 16. Okay. A need to see beyond the superficial. Yeah, I feel like you're very concerned with like your looks maybe, or like, again, how you being perfect. It might not even be looks, but the desire to don a mask or dress something. Oh wait, the desire to don a mask or dress something up to disguise its true nature, trying to be something you're not, chasing after every sparkly new thing, being mercurial. That's weird. That's Mercury. That's the 3rd house. So I don't know what that really means, but mercurial. I wish I could like look it up on my phone. Okay, anyway. The Oracle's message. It's only human to want to adorn oneself in trinkets and paint a pretty picture of oneself. That's so weird with this painting. It's natural to want to acquire the trappings of status, or to deny them as a statement of rebellion. But if it sparkles, is it better? Whether it's a fast car, a big house, a title or position, the stamp of authority, or the sparkling of diamonds, these icons let you know that something about a person, place, or thing. Or do they? The truth is that people seek to acquire things because of what they will do for them and how they will symbolically elevate them and make them more attractive. This card signals that it's time to see beyond the adornments and probe underneath the surface. Learn to recognize the masks people wear and the motives underlying them. Imagine that all the glitter is gone. Would you still desire the object or person? Interesting. I also want to read the contrary message. Okay, this says, this is a signal to walk away from what you're contemplating. There is a thin veneer of glitter and sparkle that masks something rotten underneath. Oh my God. Pursuing it will only bring about a difficult situation you will be sorry you got yourself into. Stay away. Isn't it wonderful how Spirit protects you? Better things await. I don't know what that's about. But that if you're like thinking about something but you have an uneasy feeling, then maybe that's just a cautionary warning for you. I don't know. I felt called to read that, so it could be, it may not be for everybody, but yeah, so I don't know. I feel like it was mostly this message though, about just like, think about it, like, are you a superficial person, or are you more of like this free-spirited kind of a person that has kind of become a little bit more superficial? I don't know what mercurial means. Maybe too critical of yourself. Again, that perfectionist energy, thinking about what other people are thinking of you more so than how you're feeling in your everyday life. I'm sort of getting a vibe like that. All right, let's see what else we can get here. Play. Look, I just cut to play. I knew I was getting a vibe like that, but let's see what actually comes out. What message do we have for Libras right now? Oh, okay. Mintic can. Oh, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers, and look, take a break, a life's work, not a season, get off the treadmill. I feel like you're a perfectionist that's just been going, and Spirit's like, chill, because there's more important things in life than, not that that stuff's not, but it's almost like you got that down. Now let's get back. I feel like Spirit thinks you have like some sort of a purpose here. Wait, let me just see if I can find, okay, I'm just going to read this out of the book. Mintacan, longing for home, belonging, the original light workers. Mintacans are a soul group who originated on a planet in the constellation Orion. They were the first star beings to travel to Earth and believed to be the original light workers. The Mintacans' home planet is thought to have been a water world with water so pure that you could see through it for miles. For this reason, Mintacans feel most at peace and at home when in or around crystal clear water. They are here to teach us to see the potential in everything and the light in all beings. Many Mintacans have an odd longing for home and struggle with feeling like they don't belong. It is thought that this is due to their home planet no longer being in existence. If you pulled this card, it could mean that you are a Mintacan or are longing for a sense of belonging, and root chakra healing is necessary for you to feel secure and safe. Honestly, I feel like you've got your root chakra stuff down pat. I feel like you're going a little overboard with it. Perhaps you feel this longing to find home without knowing where it is. Perhaps you've been moving around a lot and yearn for a place on Earth to call your own. If so, you are being called to connect with Mother Earth and create for yourself now. To choose where you feel most at home and create it rather than waiting for the feeling of belonging to come. So I feel like it's almost, what I'm getting is that you have like all the little details of your life sorted out, and you're very good at more like superficial things that people see. Be your own first priority. I don't feel like this is more about your spirit, like, and making your spirit a priority instead of like your to-do list, or maybe even like your exercise routine, work, like maybe you're a workaholic, you're working too much. There's something like that where we need to like take some time, I don't know, something to like, with this card, I'm getting like a sense that you could be some sort of like a light worker, or there's some sort of like free spirited that you've sort of tamped down with like responsibility, like just like a free, fun, happy, creative energy that wants to like come out. I wasn't necessarily getting the creative thing with this card, but I was getting it from all the rest. So I feel like it's a very vague message, because I feel like Spirit is wanting it to be vague so you can ask yourself these questions and fill in these blanks yourself, is kind of a vibe that I'm getting. Let's see, what else for Libra? I feel like you care a lot what other people think, and I think Spirit is saying, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what people see and think, because it's all superficial anyway. Health, I will honor the physical vessel that enshrines my soul in judgment. Yeah, I feel like you care what people think. I understand that everyone has their own unique paths and challenges. So there was something here about health and get off the treadmill. I feel like maybe shift your focus from, if say you've been like working out too much, even health, I'm getting like, again, that 6th house, that Virgo, the routines and things like that. I'm just getting a Virgo vibe here. But maybe you have a lot of Virgo in your chart, but I feel like with the health routines and all that being highlighted, I think Spirit's like wanting you maybe just to add in some time for just like freeform creativity, or freeform art, or freeform dance. I was seeing a freeform dance card in this deck, like something like that, that just like, there's really no purpose to it except to just like make your soul happy. Like, it doesn't have to be like, oh, so you can start a career with it or anything like that. It's just for fun. Hi, Kiki. Hello. Look at this kitty. She came to say hi. Oh my gosh. All right, let's just get some tarot, because I feel like, what do you want your Libras to know right now, Spirit? Spirit guides of Libra. What are you trying to say? Maybe like look back on your childhood. What are the things that you like to do, and try to like get more in touch with those things. But that whole thing with the blame, we have the 2 of Cups. Okay, maybe connect with somebody that we have the 9 of Swords. I feel like maybe connect with somebody with the Ace of Wands that is like, has similar, like maybe like when you were a kid, I don't know, think about maybe your grandma and you would always like make paintings together, like for example, or something like that. Like Spirit's like wanting you to like get back into that vibe. We have the 8 of Wands. What else? Okay, we have the 6 of Swords. And what else for Libra? We have the Lovers. Okay. So, and we have the Knight of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I am also going to get these. So with the Two of Cups and the Lovers, I don't know, now I'm sort of seeing like a love situation. Maybe you feel like, maybe you have like a partner or something that's very rigid and that's almost like expects you to be perfect or something like that, is kind of creating structure, a little too much structure for you. But let's just see. All right, like the Two of Cups, what is this? We have bag, something important such as a new job or a raise. So you could be in like a new experience right now, a new job, something like that, something to do with your money. And I think Spirit's wanting you to pay attention to your finances here. We have like a lot of stuff about your money. I feel like you're worried too much about your money. Like I feel like Spirit is wanting you to make more time for fun. And even if there is like a romantic interest, I think Spirit's wanting you to like go on a date or something like that. Like do something fun instead of always worrying so much about your responsibilities. I think Spirit wants you to loosen up here. The Nine of Swords, yeah, I think you're just like worrying too much. We have plenty of material things. Look, what is all this about money? Why? I feel like you're, well, maybe you're having financial problems or something like that, but I feel like this is really coming through here where you feel maybe guilty or responsible. Like it's your job to, maybe you're the provider of your family or something like that. Eight of Wands. Beau, you are highly thought of. Maybe there's a lot of pressure on you and like a lot of expectations on you, and you feel like you can't let people down. And it's almost like you're maybe not the type to blame other people. You're the type to take the blame on yourself and think that you did something wrong here. Claude, be careful. Do not take risks. I feel like this is your vibe. You will not take a risk. With the Six of Swords, that can speak of like a functioning dysfunction. And I feel like you're almost like afraid, again, of how you look to other people too much, that you're afraid of like to risk public embarrassment, to let the mask fall. It's like you have to be seen a certain way. You have to be seen as perfect, but nobody's perfect. The Lovers, we have heart, love, deep affection and caring. Maybe also this could be speaking that there's like a partner or somebody, like a love connection that maybe you feel like other people won't understand, but it really like is something that makes you really happy and is like a healthy choice for you. But you're keeping yourself from moving forward with it. Hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. I think you need to take a mental vacation from worrying. I'm sorry, I know this reading is like very ambiguous here. I really... Tree, affairs with your family. This could have to do with your family, maybe putting pressure on you. July. Okay, I never take the months. I'm going to take the months out of here. I hate them. Fan, romance, celebration, party. That's what Spirit wants more of in your life. Romance, celebration, party. I feel like you have a lot on your shoulders. Now, you know, I always read, I'm reading Twilight right now, which I've read 100 times, and I always reference them in my readings, but how Bella with her mom, how she was almost like the adult in the relationship. Maybe you have like that sort of dynamic with somebody in your life where you're like the parent, whether in an emotional way or a physical way, like where you're actually like contributing financially to the household, or it could just be where your parent like leans on you a lot, because we had this daughter of the Sacred Heart here. So I'm thinking of like the dynamic between like, you know, you and your parent or something like that. I just was reading that part in Twilight. Now I'm reading Twilight where she talks about how she always has to like reassure her mom and like take care of her mom, and her mom is like a child. Desk, pay attention to your work. I feel like you need to have more balance in your life. I feel like you've mastered certain things, and now Spirit wants you to like start living life for yourself. Be your own first priority. Even if you have some like a lot of responsibility and things like that on you, and if you feel like people are leaning on you, it's not your job to take care of other people. They have to take care of themselves, make themselves their own first priority. And it's sometimes we have those sorts of people that we just love and we just want to take care of, but you know, we also have to take care of ourselves too, make sure there's balance going on. All right, sorry, I feel like this reading is very ambiguous. All right, let's see what advice, let's get some specific advice here. But I feel like there's like a free-spirited part of yourself that you've like tamped down. That's like the main gist of what I'm getting. I feel like you've tamped it down in place of becoming this sort of perfectionist person that's very concerned with material things and what other people see, with money and status and things like that. And I think Spirit's saying like, boo, that's not you, or at least that's not all you. You're more so like, think about who you were when you were a kid, because it's almost like you've let the world shape you into something else. And I think Spirit just wants you to like recognize that before it's too late, and let you know that you don't always have to be perfect. And you could have had a very critical or judgmental parent, and like now this is something that happens where like that voice that like would always be like bah bah bah, like becomes your own voice, kind of your own inner voice. So it's like it might be something like that. All right, what advice do you have? When your mascara is $23, there's no time for crying. To me, that's like an adage of like, don't cry, like it's not good to cry or something like that. Or, but look, your mascara, you have expensive mascara, like why do you need to cry? Like almost like that whole vibe of like superficiality. The world is sleeping and all is well, mantra for anxiety. So we have the 9 of Swords here. So I feel like you worry a lot. You're a perfectionist. You worry what people are thinking. But there's definitely some anxiety coming through. This says, honestly, as long as you're happy, who the hell cares? And I feel like, yes, that's a big message here because, and it's coming out over all that glitters, where it's like, as long as you're happy, honestly, with these material things and you don't feel like you're missing anything, then honestly, who the hell cares? Then you can sit with yourself and make the decision that like, no, like, I'm happy this way. But look at this. Make sure to love what you perceive as unlovable about yourself a little extra. Are these material things covering up some sort of insecurity or some sort of shame from the past, some sort of, maybe some sort of shame. Maybe you were like shamed as a child and told that like almost like you felt like if you weren't perfect you wouldn't have been loved, kind of a vibe. Like think about that, like when you were a little kid or something, like if you were like playing in the dirt, would you like would your mom like freak out or your dad freak out? Like I know like my dad was like that. Like I was like, whoa. But it's almost like where you feel this shame for like messing up and making mistakes, where it would like really be a big deal. You get screamed at, kind of a thing. And I feel like you've created this like perfect shell in order to like hide your mistakes or any wrongdoing. It's like you've adapted. I feel like you're very adaptable and you've like adapted to the circumstances around you. But it's like now Spirit's saying, okay, that's good. Maybe you needed to do that at the time, but with this bitch fire energy, it's like stand up for yourself here and burn those things away. Like burn that voice, that judgmental voice away. I feel like it's your own voice now, but it might have like started something in childhood. Sometimes the heart knows in a way that the logical mind can't. So maybe this is something like your spirit is feeling, but your logical mind isn't really. Like maybe if like when I'm saying this, you're like, no, I don't feel that way. But, and that might be the case, but that like Spirit is just asking you to sit with yourself and come to the conclusion on your own. Gratitude shouldn't be a reaction. It should be your vibe. What else for Libra? Okay. Trust the strange and mysterious at this time. Like, I feel like you're not into like the strange and mysterious. Explore your curiosities and learn something new. I feel like you're more so into like detail, like getting on the treadmill, like all the stuff that it was talking about. Anything else we can get? You don't have to have it all figured out. Just take the next step. I think Spirit wants you to play and explore. You must focus on yourself, feel as good as you can, and make the relationship with yourself a priority. That's coming through twice. Do this and everything else will fall into place. And regardless of how filthy your past is, your future is still spotless. There's something about, like I'm telling you, where like with like dirt or something like that, where it's like something about like, oh, you're filthy. Like, I don't know, like I'm just getting a vibe of that where like you like adapted and like never got dirt on you again, and like now you're like afraid to play. Because even like you see this girl like drawing on the wall, like obviously yes, you shouldn't draw on the walls in your house, that's not a good idea, of course you would get in trouble for that. But it's almost like you just being a kid, maybe spilling milk on the table was like a big deal and you like learned to be perfect as a result. But it's like now you can't like let loose at all. And maybe you have a sort of confidence where you're like, oh, I'm perfect, a perfectionist confidence, but it's like rooted in anxiety. Whereas like with the kind of a Leo confidence, it's more of like a free spirit. Like I don't have to be perfect. I just am confident in who I am, on its own. Even if I mess up and make a mistake, like, so what? That's just like, wasn't there something in here about making mistakes? Because now that I'm thinking about that, that might be what it was about. I feel like it took me forever to get this message, but magical things can happen. We discover, but okay, we can create cages around our mind to keep us from taking risks that might expose us to rejection, embarrassment, or failure. We can forget that if we do experience those things, they are temporary and they help us conquer our fears. And then we actually become happier through that process. The free spirit within you needs permission to express herself, to go after what she wants, to try new things, to make art, to express love. I know I already read this, but without having to be certain of how it's all going to turn out. Give yourself permission to make mistakes and figure out what you are doing as you go. Sometimes it's when things don't work out the way we thought or hoped that we can learn the most. So it's not a punishment. It's not a sign that you were stupid or should have done something different. It's just life doing what life does. I feel like you were punished a lot. Maybe there was a lot of harshness maybe in your childhood environment that has made you, again, adapt to being like this perfect sort of a person. And I think Spirit's like, okay, like I get you had to do that back then, but now you need to realize that like it's perfectly normal to make these mistakes, and maybe it's not really normal to have those reactions on, you know, innocent kids that were making mistakes or getting in the dirt like all kids do, or spilling milk. Like even adults spill milk, like even, you know, adults make mistakes and things like that. So it's like, I feel like you were shamed from a young age and you still have that shame inside of you. And this was coming through in the reading I did yesterday, where it's like, because this is like solar plexus chakra, and it's the blue again. It's like the blue and the yellow, solar plexus and throat chakra, where you're not being an authentic version of yourself a little bit. Like there's something being held back out of shame. I'm getting it. It was like a different vibe in the reading I did yesterday, but it's that same sort of an energy where, but with here, I'm getting something from your childhood home or something like that. Where maybe you were just trying to be like a free, wacky kind of a free-spirited kid. Like you would know that. Were you that sort of a kid, or were you a very serious sort of a kid? Like I feel like you might have been like a free-spirited sort of a kid, started out, and then as time has gone on, you're just a very rigid with yourself sort of a person who doesn't let themselves try new things, make mistakes. Like it's like you have to be perfect. So just think about all this stuff, because I think Spirit's really, I think what other people think is very important to you, but it's like your own soul should be, maybe you feel like you won't be loved, love, deep affection and caring, unless you're like perfect. There's like a vibe like that. So you got to give yourself permission to make mistakes. Your spirit guides really want you to take the time to think about these things. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this reading, and I will catch you in the next one, okay? Bye.